around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Millions of people just living out their lives, oblivious. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Thank you, John Larson. I receive your kind words on behalf of all of our courageous members of the House of Representatives who want the best for the American people. And what we can do that is best for them in the next 24 hours is to pass affordable, accessible health care for all Americans. The best for all Americans is to have 32 million more people to have health insurance in our country. The best for...
Piece of stinking filth.
Shh, say it again, Shal. This is AJ of the InfoWars. Listen to the Shaliak. This is Alex Jones of InfoWars. Listen to Shaliak on the Cold Reality News and Report.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Well, hello there.
This week on Cold Reality Radio. Rand Paul introduces Tulsi Gabbard's Stop Arming the Terrorist Act. Assad says that the U.S. military forces in Syria are invaders. Intruder arrested after entering White House grounds with Trump inside. 50 years after the Summer of Love, prepare for the Summer of Hate. Thousands of U.S. troops head to Kuwait to fight in Syria and Iraq, as always was part of the agenda. Elites chartering getaway boats in case of Manhattan emergency. Your old CD-ROMs are probably rotting. God, I hope not. Real surveillance scandal is hidden in plain sight. 7 conspiracy theories that aren't exactly or actually conspiracy theories. Leaked docs show FBI investigated ties between Mafia, Masons, and Vatican in an assassination plot. New WikiLeaks dump about CIA hacking sheds light on the mysterious death of Michael Hastings. State Department urges coroner to keep Russian UN ambassador's cause of death secret. Former Congressman Dennis Kucinich warns Congress that CIA wiretaps are real And it happened to him in his Keebler elf tree. The war on cash finds its general. That and more on today's edition of Cold Reality Radio here on the UCY.TV Broadcasting Network. Welcome and good morning. Good morning. Good morning. From UCY. Good morning from UCY.TV. This is Cold Reality Radio. I am your host, the Shali Lama. And this is my guitar. Just got to get that out of my system. Feeling a little crappy in my gizzard, and thinking that I should this morning. I'm like, do I want to put coffee on top of this? Is that what I'm going to do? And then I decided yes, but then I also decided to put chlorophyll, some of these green capsules in there, so it's mixing in with that, so could have an explosive situation during the program. Explosive situations. Number one or number two, it's just been. Something's going on in there. Gotta weed it out. Try to take oil of oregano as much as possible, because that is much like CBD. It is one of those cannabinoids. It's very powerful against fungus, any number of different things. Very, very powerful herb. And it works for a great many things. So, welcome to the program today. I don't have my regular headset because I sacrificed my $20 set to family member. And now I'm using just a regular old headset here. And I guess it's not so bad. It seems a little different because usually I just have the headset on, but now I've got the earbuds in the ear, and it's just kind of sounding a little what I'm not used to there. Not as much bass as I'm used to. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. He certainly is bringing the chaos. He's certainly bringing the chaos. It's very interesting how much just, I guess, I don't know. It's not, you can just see it. You can see it the whole way. Just everything that he said, everything that could have really truly have been kept down to a minimum, like the Muslim ban and all that other stuff. He could have said any old thing. He could have said, hey, much like or unlike what you've seen over the years, I'm going to do something about the border. You don't have to say you're going to build a great wall. Everything that could have really, truly have been kept. There's that guy again. He could have just kind of toned it down, and he still would have gotten his message across that he was going to do something about, about the border. Good morning, chat rumors and rumors of chats. It is, again, I think you would agree with me that he really could have toned it down. He really could have, bullshitted and kind of kept it and downplayed it a little bit, but still getting the point across. Hey, unlike my predecessors here, I'm going to do something about the border. We're really going to address this. But it was always something that was too much. That was too, morning, Maddie. It was always something that was just a little bit too much to then spur the outrage from those who would be affected by it. Because, it really is totally blown out of proportion, because he's not throwing anyone out of the country. Okay? And then it still continues last night. Very interesting SNL skit where they're actually put this electronic device onto this dog's head, and it's going to read his thoughts. And of course, Scarlett Johansson's on there, Miss, bloodline family member. Didn't really woo anybody in any of the movies that she was in earlier. She was in with that Thora Birch actress. They're both lovely women. They were very young at the time. I forget what the name of it was, but I want to say Bill Murray was in it for some reason. Maybe somebody can wicca freaky of that. Or the Thora Birch, she was in American. She was in that movie American something or other with the other guy that was suspected of being at Rape Island, who's on that Starz show about politics, Kevin Spacey. Okay. And so there she is. And the next thing you know, she's the hottest, one of the hottest, actresses. She's an ex-gal. She's an ex-man or an ex-woman. I'm surprised there hasn't been social justice war. Why is it got to be ex-man? Why can't it be ex-woman? Why can't it be that? Why can't it be Ex-Woman? But there she is, boom, right on the silver screen, you know, and she is lovely. I mean, really, truly a vision. But again, like most of these actors and actresses, they're ugly inside. They know who butters their bread, and that's liberal Hollywood. Is it Lost in Translation? She was in that movie but it wasn't the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, she was in that one, but that was a little bit later. But it was look at Thora Birch, Birch, and Scarlet, and it was Ghost something. I want to say it had Ghost in it, but I was just like, who are these girls here? Who are these girls here? And next thing you know, Thora's, man, she's done. Okay, even though she did a pretty good job in that one. But again, she's not, if she had the connections that Scarlett Johansson, which is probably not even her name, she would have catapulted the same as Scarlett. I don't think that was her name. Anybody can maybe pull it up. Let me see here. Anyway, it's not really important, but I'm just pointing out something. Let's see here. Scarlett Johansson there. All right, and movies. We're going to go down. We're going to down. Wow, she's been in a lot of shit. What's this? Oh, no. Ghost World. It's called Ghost World. And that was 2001. When she would have been 15 years younger. And so if you kind of look, very young, all right? And so that was pretty much my first, but the bottom line here is that she is and has connections that catapult her to the levels that she is at now. There's Thora, Emily, Ghost World, Hocus Pocus. What else has she been in? She's still in a few things, but nothing, as you can tell, nothing like Scarlett there. So in this SNL sketch, the dog starts to talk, and then they're kind of selling this technology to a bunch of suits. And the guy's like, I can't really hear any thoughts coming out of that dog. And then next thing you know, the dog starts to talk. I like bones. I like food. I like my play toys. And then he said, I love that Trump. It is a fucking riot. So he just starts he's pro-Trump. And of course, then the dog's an absolute douchebag. This cute little pup goes from, hey, that's pretty awesome. Oh my God, this technology is great. We can hear what the dog's thinking. And then, of course, he's a Trump fan, so he can, he could walk into a fucking meat grinder and they wouldn't give a shit. Wonder if it's on here. Look it up. Well, I'll see if I can find it. You can watch it. It's actually pretty funny. And then the woman, one of the suits is like, I'm going to shoot and kill your dog. Your dog is awful, And he's just saying all these things that are true, but of course the liberal mindset nowadays is just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And of course, I think we all used to be there at some point where we would just like when I was voting against George W. Bush. Like, this guy is a fucking jackass. Nowhere near knowing what I know now. And so I would sit there and I would watch Bill Maher and be like, yeah. And then you would see, and you were on this one side, and now it's like, and then maybe you kind of spin over to the conservative side after Obama. And then if you figure it out, if you can connect the dots and add a couple of single digit numbers, you figure out that it's all bullshit and both sides are working for the same source. And so why is it that hard to figure these things out? Well, it's very simple. It's mass propaganda and mind control that gets people to think something, gets someone to join a side or pick a side, mostly because they're afraid. There's a lot of people now very afraid, especially in Hollywood, very afraid to be pro-Trump. Kanye West went to visit Trump right after the election. And then, of course, MTV was like, you can keep Kanye. You can keep Kanye. Right? Anybody who has any kind of dialogue with Trump is a piece of garbage at this juncture. And so Hollywood is a disease. Okay, we can really kind of be on that. It is an absolute disease. Sure, does it entertain? Absolutely, it does. Are there good messages in movies? Yes. Are there bad? Yes. Is there propaganda? Yes. It works directly along with the Pentagon to, like the Kyle movie, to get young people to want to join the military, to fight for the illegitimate banking families that own and control America and large portions of other corporations thought to be countries. The EU is a corporation. When Europe became the European Union, it was turned into more of a corporation. And so thus the Mex Americana Corp, which is where everybody, there's people that are aware that these things, these machinations of deception and movement towards the so-called ending of borders. Okay. I mean, honestly, if they were really, really, truly interested in the safety of America, borders, sufficient borders would be first and foremost on the agenda, but it's never been. And we have any number of groups that from South America that are inside the parameters of the United States corporation. Very, very dangerous. I just heard the name again to the point where I'm not even going to say it, because it's I heard the name from someone that I worked with who was in the military before, and that person expressed very, very high levels of concern for this one particular group that is inside the American corporation's confines, And I'm not even going to say what that is, because it's very dangerous times that we are about to. I mean, we're already there. We're going into a higher gear of the demise of this corporation, the transformation of the corporation, the United States corporation. And so we find so much anger, so much hatred. And again, I go back to Trump being effective without doing all the shit that he did, and all the things that he said. We're going to, take care that we're gonna, just take it that next level. Nobody's done anything about this. Ultimately nothing about the borders. And then so now he could have just said, we're really going to address this. We're going to make this a priority. He didn't have to say we're going to build a wall. He didn't have to say all these things, but he did. And of course, because of the mental state of conservatives, Republicans, people that know that the Nancy Pelosi's of the world are just mentally ill, they've gravitated towards the Bushes and the Reagans and the Republicans. So is this a failure to take care of the borders? Is this a failure to... No, it's not a failure. It's a success so far. It's a success because the blueprint for the destruction of the American corporation is and has been very effective. And believe, a lot of people just can't gather, they can't grasp that this whole entire system is every aspect of it is to keep those in power always in power, and to tax as much as possible to then be able to keep the commoners at a level at which they don't revolt. Enough progress in people's lives, the ability to, up until about 15 years ago or more. I mean, it's been a slow progression, but now it's getting accelerated into something much more despotic. They do say that the economy since the election has Stuart Varney from, well, I guess you can't say Fox, because as soon as you say Fox, then everybody's the worst. If you're affiliated with Fox, and I'm not saying that they are, they're actually probably getting much more liberal than anything with what happened to the owner, Ailes, and now with what's her name? The Bulldog. They call her the Bulldog. She will be working for ABC or NBC. So, I mean, they're all whores. They're all whores. Whoever's going to pay me the most money. And so it just continues to unravel. And of course, the chaos and the hatred, there are similarities, mega similarities to the Russian Revolution, the types of elements that are involved, the hatred, what we saw in Berkeley. You know, it's not a pretty scene, to say the least. So what we see is well, now that's not a real lady, Aid. But of course, the chaos and everything that is going to be needed to make this violent transition, of course, Rothschild this week saying, "Oh, my new world financial order is being and so it's a mess because a lot of the financial folks in the alternative media are saying that there still is a financial collapse on its way. Some are saying that the summer of rage, what they talked about. So then you want to just say, without all of this manipulation, what would the world be like? What kind of society would we have if it wasn't for all of these manipulations? And again, people still think that it's that we're the greatest nation in the world. We're told lies about what's going on in other countries. People travel there and say, no, it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of nice. The same level of stuff, the same level of appeasing the commoners, giving them, a little bit of freedom here and a little bit of prosperity there. And then, but also understand that in China, they have mobile execution vans and organ, the selling of organs and to the highest bidder, things like that. So, the ugly side of the world is always subdued. And of course, when the uninformed commoner sees information about blood tainted with HIV, like, was it Bear? any number of other just absolute atrocities that go unreported. They can't fathom it. So it's not true. It's not real. We're not being manipulated and damaged greatly by injections of all sorts. We're not. There's no way that would happen. No, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. They do it all the time. So let's get into some of these so that we see largely what top story over at Blacklisted News. Rand Paul introduces Tulsi Gabbard's Stop Arming the Terrorist Act in the Senate this week. Paul introduced this act to prevent American taxpayers' money from being used to directly or indirectly support armed militants. You know, the moderate rebels that the U.S. media lies about or is just told a lie. So they're like, ooh, we just got some information. We're just going to, they're moderate rebels. Yeah, we need to fund them and to arm them so that they can get rid of Assad. But now we see that largely that has not worked because now, and I'm not naive to think that there hasn't been U.S. boots on the ground, but now it's being reported that thousands of U.S. troops head to Kuwait to fight in Syria and Iraq. So this is, this is something that was always planned. They were hoping, I guess, that what they were doing prior for the last 6 years or so would have removed Assad and his leadership over there, as the alphabet agencies and NATO and all of these other illegitimate murderers are over there killing and just totally destroying lives. Of course, then in the Western media, it gets turned around and it's said that Assad has done this. This is all Assad's fault because he's a bad guy. Russia comes in, bails them out. Now, I'm under no, I understand that it's all deception and that Russia at the core is probably just doing exactly what the leaders or the banking leadership, because like, how could they do any of this stuff? How could Russia amass how can any country amass any type of military force if it wasn't for banks? And you know who controls them. You know who provides the funds to build any military force. banks. All right. So is Russia good? Are they coming in there to try to save? Are they the anti-New World Order, and they're going to fight? I don't think so. I don't believe so. Somebody else has a more optimistic approach, or so I don't believe that this is what's going to happen. I believe that World War III is already underway, and it will escalate into an absolute hot war just prior to, probably in the next, we got March, April, May, June, probably in the next 3 months. And then the economy, because you have to have distractions and other things to move you away from why the global economy is shit. Okay, but of course they'll blame it on Trump, just like they blame so many things on Obama. But it won't matter at that point, because we are at war. And you will do, as a commoner, as property of the United States corporation, you will do exactly what they say do. All right, so that is what's happening there. And of course, Rand Paul, in addition to backing this Stop Arming the Terrorists, he's also been saying, hey, where's this healthcare bill? Where's this healthcare bill? And of course, it turns out that it is not a repeal of any kind. It is just a small configuration change. But ultimately, those that have, over the last 8 years, that have made incredible sums of money, the bankers, insurance company, bank. That's all you need to know. Insurance company, bank. That's it. That's all you need to know. And so as they move down the road, this will be, they have to do something. But see, or they don't have to do anything. I mean, Trump might, Trump's already in there. So if he succeeds, if he doesn't succeed, it'll just be blamed on the liberals or the Democrats. If he does succeed, that will create more and more anger and more chaos, more disinformation. Whatever good he's trying to do. I mean, and this is why Alex Jones, ultimately, as many of us have found out, is so incredibly full of shit. Because if he thinks that the globalists are going to let him do all these things, then he's smelling his own farts and loving it. It's there's just no way that he could do this. He would, and if he is trying, and I'm wrong, and he's trying to do these things, then he will be eradicated with extreme prejudice. Extreme prejudice. So there really is no, we're not on a separate track. If I'm wrong, hey, I'll admit it. Nobody. But there is no moving, these things around. Okay, we know that these people are related. 44 cousins at one point during his 8 years. 44 cousins in the Senate. Sessions, McCain, genealogically tied to his cousin, George Washington, and now they're saying that McCain and Obama are related. So guess what? That's right. Obama and Georgie the Wash. It's all a family affair. It's all a family affair. Okay? Nothing will stop this. Nothing will stop what is planned for the American corporation. So it's test. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Trump. Jeff Sessions. Oh yeah, Donald Trump. Jeff Sessions. Some say he is a racist. Some say he is not. Some say Jeff Sessions is racist. Some say he is not. Barack Obama. He's trying to overthrow. Oh yeah, he's wiretapping. He's wiretapping. Tap Trump Tower. He's gonna wiretap Trump Tower. Barack Obama. He's not what he seemed to be. Oh yeah, Donald Trump is probably not gonna bring prosperity. When the economy bottom fall out, we all gonna be eating sauerkraut, and we're gonna be eating stale Oreos. at the White House. Thousands of troops headed to Kuwait to fight in Syria today. Oh yeah, they're gonna fight in Iraq. They're gonna fight in Iraq. Instead of directly deploying thousands of additional ground troops, the sort of precipitous escalation that might get Congress to vote on a war. The Trump administration appears to have decided the solution is to send thousands of ground troops to Kuwait and let the commanders in Iraq and Syria just take on their World War III is here. Have no fear. World War III is here. You can have no fear. 'Cause all men have to fear is fear itself. No, no, I'm saying, bruh. Yeah, it's time for some hellacious jams. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, a little musical expression there. And as I was saying, we've got, well, welcome everybody in the chat room there. Everybody hanging out, enjoying the music and the rhetoric and a mixture of the two. The bloody rhetoric, man. That's a nice looking Frampton guitar. Is that the original? That's nice. But, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, folks, for tuning in this morning. So what sparked all this music talk and guitars? Was it by chance the Shali Lama licking out? I'm bloody licking it out here, man. No, it's fun to It's fun to rock and roll. I did that back in the day, back in the 40s and the 50s when rock and roll came out. It's like yet another probably societal implementation, right? I'm sure that you've all heard the conspiracy theories about Jimi Hendrix and the Doors and things like that. So it's always, I forget what that was. I know that Clint did a little bit on that, and more so, I don't know if I've ever had him on here, but Christ, why am I forgetting his name? But this gentleman's done an incredible amount of work. I still am kind of connected to his blog, where he goes in there and he really kind of breaks down music and entertainment and just basically the music industry back in the Mamas and the Papas and Jimi Hendrix and the Doors and many other bands that were heavily manipulated. Even the Beatles were. That's why the music industry has to be taken over, has to be controlled, just like any other area of importance in our society. That's why you have all this garbage today, Beyonce and all this other shit, all this fake garbage culture, filth, and degeneracy to sell to the youth. All the filth and bad messages, Hey, Maddie. I don't know how it sounded on that other end. When I play it back, when I play some of the music back, it sounds okay, but there's like breaks and things in it. I don't know where it's coming from. I guess it's just I should be really kind of recording everything here as well, like I used to, just in case I step into a rhythmic black hole and just, and I'm like, I'll never play that ever again. I don't know how that happened, but I'll never be able to reproduce that again, that type of thing. Reproduce. But we've got a lot of, Dave McGowan, right? Yeah, he was one of them that pointed out quite a bit. Yoko Ono had an affair with Hillary in the 70s. Yeah, that's a horrible vision there, Yoko and Hillary. Between Hillary's witchery and Yoko Ono and her and all that shit. I mean, that's probably something that would induce madness if viewed up close. So, let's talk about UCY. Let's talk about incredible programming on this station of free speech. We got Voice of Rebellion Radio, Live Free FM on Sunday nights. We've got the anti-media, the antimedia.org. That's Just go to UCY. You'll see all the programming. Truth on the Tracks with Brandon Turbeville. Incredible. He's like a Paul Joseph Watson type who just really breaks it down incredibly. Geoengineering Watch with Dane Wigington. Saturdays at 3. Very important. Rock the Boat coming up next with Ron Stevens after Cold Reality Radio. Truth or Talk Radio. Our interesting times. Saturday evenings. Double Crossed Radio, Thursday at 10. The Liam Sheff Show, The American Heretic. I interviewed him a number of years ago. Unlock the Door with Michael Cross, Saturdays at 4. Primer Time with Michael and Nick, Tuesdays at 9. Before the First Cup, 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. Character Matters with Dr. George Simon, Sundays at 7. The Anti-Tyranny News, that's 6 to 8, Fridays. Behind the Woodshed today at 3 with Hal Anthony. Very powerful information from Hal. Solvener Event, Saturday at 10 a.m. The Birth of a New Dimension with Aurora Flying Rainbow Lasagnas. Sounds and tastes delicious, I imagine. The Continual Condition with Jonathan Kramer and Stephen Birkeland. And, of course, back to Post Ignorance with Kevin Blanche. You want to hear the F-bomb at rapid fire, machine gun fire, tune in. Plus a lot of other great information. The Voice of Rebellion Radio, I think I said that one. Yes. So tune in, and if you want to throw some funds to UCY, support UCY, you can do that. There's a lot of people that are in the chat room. UCY needs your help to stay on the air, as every month they're increasing storage requirements and hosting costs involved in running the network that need to be paid. For the last 3 years, this network has been run as commercial free by keeping cost as low as possible in order to allow us to continue bringing on new quality shows. If you enjoy the network and want to help continue the network continue to grow, please consider donating through PayPal or making your Amazon purchases your Amazon purchases through the UCY Amazon link at ucy.tv/donate. And thank you for your continued support. You know, $1. Christ, $1. I'm going to make a donation to Jules. I haven't done it in a long time. I'm going to make a donation to UCY this week, if not today. Going to make a donation. And again, if you shop on Amazon, if you do things like that, click on that link, get in there, and it doesn't cost you anymore, and it helps Jules and everyone involved pay for the network. You can also email Jules at ucytv@gmail, and thank her for her diligence over the last, Christ, what has it been? Somewhere I've been on here since, Christ, has it been 4 years now? So Jules has been doing this for maybe 6-7 years now, maybe more. So, and not everybody has the answers. Not every network has the answers. We know that Jones gives you 80% information and 20% shit. You know, he makes you a sandwich and he slides a turd pickle in there. All right. I'm not saying I don't listen, but there are some things that are happening there. If you've developed your filter, you can tell when it's bullshit, and you can tell when there's actual information coming out of it. You can tell who the operatives are and who the, the people are. Of course, you got your Jeff Rentzes out there. I told him directly, spoke to him directly on the phone at one point and said, Obama is a bloodline family member of the president's George Washington, the whole deal. You think he put that? Do you think he researched that and put any of that information out? No. Because we have to keep perpetuating this founding father myth. When all these people were, maybe they had good intention. Maybe they were useful idiots, just like what we see today. But these people were agents and family members of the British Empire. So how are we independent from them? So these are the things that we need to understand before we can start to, even if things don't turn around and, our lives for the next 10, 20 years stay pretty much the same, at least you can understand, and at least get Clint's book. Get Clint's Strawman, strawmanstory.info. Go there, pick it up, send him a donation, and he'll send you a paperback or a hardback copy of his incredible work, his research. We all make sacrifices. We all, Clint has made incredible sacrifices. Jules has made incredible sacrifices as well to be able to put this out, to create a platform like UCY.tv. We're all learning as we move through this construct. And of course, we know it's not. We know that it is not what we're told that it is, what we've been told that it is. We are commoners. And until we understand that we are commoners and that we have no rights and that we have no constitutional rights or Bill of Rights, none of this stuff applies with the United States citizenship. If you're on that ship, you are a commoner, you are a slave. But even if you do participate in it, at least understanding it and knowing it can possibly change the world someday. Can possibly change the world just by knowing these critical pieces of information. That's right. Maddie chiming in. These are mostly unseen and unheard heroes. Put up the lighter for Jules, for Clint. For me, I don't make that many sacrifices. I don't. I just do this knowing, I guess the sacrifice is knowing I was sacrificing my privacy by putting information out there, that other people, other organizations out there, the ones that Snowden talks about, where he says that he feels, that he believes that things have changed as a result of his revelations. I don't think so. Maybe slightly. But if he's legit, as long as he's not living here freely or some semblance of that, then what difference has it made? There's still probably 50% of people that think Snowden's a hero and 50% that think that he's a traitor. And the damage is already done. I appreciate those kind words, Maddie. It's I say to myself, and I've said this to Clint a number of times, like, what would the world have been like without this manipulation, without the lies of the founding fathers, the lies of, and say, hey, listen, were they slave owners? Yeah. Was slavery right? Wrong? Of course it was wrong. If this was understood that they were full of shit on some level, again, maybe some of them were good, maybe some of them had good intention. But when George Washington's the first president and he's related first cousins to the guy across the way who he's supposedly fighting for independence to get the independence of this is it's a, come on now. Come on, seriously, it's one of those things that you would expect that the so-called founders and all this stuff and President's Day and all this other stuff, you're celebrating President's Day, you're celebrating the King of America, the King of the American corporation. So, and I don't think any of us are celebrating presidents, but the bottom line is that the King and Queen, Trump is the King, and Melania is the Queen of the American corporation. I'm not going to fight it. I'm simply just going to talk about it. The real problem is the people who think that they're getting involved politically through activism or whatever, and they've got nothing but bad information to draw from. A treasure trove of bad information to draw from. The Scarlett Johanssons and all these people that actually think in Hollywood that they think that Hillary is a great woman. What constitutes greatness? These people have no idea what kind of creature. And then we may be, years from now, we may be saying the same thing about Trump, that he came in here and just wrecked the place even further. Time will tell. I'm not holding out any hope for any of it. Just going to continue getting up and trying to survive every day and watch the movie, the entertainment, the entrainment through entertainment that they put out there for you. And are some of these fights legitimate between the left and the right? Or is it just a drama that they desire, like so many other people? When everything's good, you met that person. When everything's good and everything is fine and settled, you meet those people and you work with them, and you find out that they just want to start trouble because they love the drama. They want to be the shows that they see, the Kardashians or some other pathetic, destructive piece of garbage out there. The fake news has been here for a long time, and it's finally being pointed out. And what does the fake news do when the fake news is being pointed out? It says that the other guys are the fake news, just like when you get twins fighting each other, or the bad guy, you've seen it before, the bad guy and the good guy, and shoot him, it's him, he's the one. No, you're the one, right? That's what we're doing right now. What's the fake news? So stay tuned, as I said, for Ron Stevens, Rock the Boat, and, may your journey be an enlightened one, and understand that the truther movement is not really looking for truth. It's looking to make something that's a lie truthful. So keep up the good work, people.
Rounds a minute trying to stop them. Don't put that on your wish list. That's retarded babble. Protesters make the hit list soon as they start to rabble. They are nothing but fishes in the barrel. It doesn't have to be Christmas for a carol. Some decorate with ornamental decorum. Some perform shock and awe on Hanukkah and Purim. That's where my job come in. I am a blessing to the mercenary. For the corporation selling weapons to them. Any potential competitor step into them. I'm authorized to knock them out and stick a GPS into them. They want